another edition of Better Than Broadway. We are coming to you live from all over the globe, mostly Atlanta, Georgia, and Chicago, Illinois. But hey, we're coming at you globally. It's what we're doing here. We're having a good time. Season 2, episode 16, in your living room. Boys,
Or your car.
Yeah, you know, wherever you are. It's cool.
The treadmill.
Wherever you are, the treadmill, the car, you know.
Maybe you're pumping some
whatever
weights.
You're doing. We are happy that you are with us in this moment.
Ryan, could they be listening to us in a random gas station in Hawaii?
Yeah, if they have their earbuds in, sure. They could be pooping in that gas station.
They could be pooping in the gas station.
I mean, that's the level of technology we have.
If you're listening to us in a gas station pooping in Hawaii, please hover.
Or just hold it and go to a hotel because you know those things are clean.
There you go.
If you're on the mainland, you don't have to hover, but Hawaii, you need to hover.
Yeah. So guys, we got Backlash, we got SmackDown, we got WWE Draft. We got a lot of business today, but most importantly, it is the return of our dear friend, Mr. Tom Sroka, all the way from Illinois. Hey, buddy.
What's up, guys?
Look at that beard. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous beard. It's like,
so it starts.
It's the progress of it goes from Chef to me to Justin to you. It's the evolution of beard. It's delight.
Evolution. Tom, I want to congratulate you because we have officially broken the curse of Sroka.
We have
podcast to me.
We haven't killed it.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's honestly.
What is the curse of Sroka?
Oh man.
So
it is a curse.
Tom and I have been on each other's podcast multiple times, and it seems like, especially with me, but I think with you too, there's been several times, like whenever he comes on my podcast, something happens and I end up stopping my podcast. Like my podcast is canceled or like I don't do it. It's happened like 3 times. At least. And so when he came on the first time, I wasn't on the podcast, so it didn't really count. So then when we came in, and so then when he came on, recently, and I was with him or whatever, and now here we are again. We're still going. We're still rolling strong. So
it didn't work.
Broke the
Tom is our
first
first 3-time guest.
Three time.
Yes, sir.
Chef,
guys, I am
okay. I've sat away from my microphone.
A little bit closer.
Yeah, I'm going to be listening to and watching Backlash here while we are doing this podcast. I'm currently in the middle of the Bad Bunny, so I can try and catch up here.
So good. We'll skip that for now.
You don't need to watch the rest of it after that.
That's what you said, but I'm a little bit bummed out about it. I do want to see what's going on with Cody.
No, watch the rest of it. Watch the rest of it.
So Justin, while you're watching the end of that match, why don't we go ahead and talk WWE Draft?
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
This draft. So the WWE has had their annual draft after WrestleMania, typically 2 or 3 weeks after WrestleMania, and it's almost always right around the same time as the NFL draft, almost to the day.
Yeah.
So this year the WWE draft kicked off on SmackDown, and Triple H comes out, does his thing, and with the first pick of the WWE draft of 2023, SmackDown selected combined Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman of the Bloodline. Raw takes Cody Rhodes as their first draft pick. So based on that first round of draft picks, does anybody other than me take issue with the fact that they clumped factions and tag teams together in this draft? It's the first time they've done it. It just feels peculiar.
I fucking hate the draft, and period. Can I just say that? I've always hated it. Am I the only one? Like, maybe I've always thought it was stupid. I always thought it was like it's like a shitty playoff of the NFL draft. And I've just never thought, it's like, why not just put people everywhere? Like, just, give them, you can do a soft split to where you kind of see this guy over here, but you don't have to make it, because at the end of the day, they come up with excuses to why somebody would show up somewhere anyways. And then Survivor Series comes along and all that kind of crap. And I don't like it at all. So I'm got a little bit of a bad opinion on it in general. But yeah, like, I guess if they're going to do it, they might as well make it kind of official to be like, oh, well, we're going to pick one person except for these guys. Like, it should almost be the opposite. Roman should count as 3, right? As opposed to hitting 3 people at once. Like Roman is like their biggest guy, so he should have like triple points or something like that.
Or like, would they make all those little games like, oh, you get, all the tiers of wrestlers and you get, 20 points. You can only pick, each one has 5 points, things like that.
Yeah, and Roman's 19 points if you get 20 points, right? Like
so. Well, I don't know. It's. No, I'm sorry to cut off Tom, but the biggest thing that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and maybe I missed the past 2 years since we've been doing this. I don't remember the draft from last year. Maybe I just missed it.
That's my point. Is if they're gonna do it, they needed to find a consistency with it. Because I feel like for a while, like when they brought it back, it was every year they were doing it. Then they didn't do it last year. Then they did it this year. My only issue, I got 2 issues with the draft, is I don't like the NXT call-ups. First and foremost, especially the ones that have titles.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's just like, okay, well, now we know NXT is just going to be like title tournaments for the next 2 weeks or so.
Interims.
To replace those vacant titles that they have, because they have that imaginary rule that you can't bring, their titles with them to NXT, even though they allowed Owens to when he was the NXT champion and so on and so forth. But the other issue I have with it is I don't understand like the exchanging of the titles. Like, I feel like when the draft happens, like, obviously the tag team titles are unified right now, but like the Raw Women's Champion should just stay on Raw. The SmackDown Women's Champion should just stay on SmackDown. Whichever one of the undercard titles, I always forget which one is like primarily one or the other.
But that's what they've done though, right?
No.
Because Roman has a SmackDown and he went to SmackDown.
Right.
He's got both.
He's got both, but Rhea got drafted to SmackDown as the Raw Women's Champion, and Bianca got drafted to SmackDown as the Raw, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Bianca's the Raw and got drafted to SmackDown. Rhea's the SmackDown, got drafted to Raw. It's just stupid.
Like, so here's what we got. We'll talk about these champions real quick. All right. So Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, was drafted with Imperium to Raw.
Yeah.
So they've gone from SmackDown to Raw. And Austin Theory, the U.S. champion who's currently on Raw, as of tomorrow becomes a member of SmackDown.
Yeah.
On top of that, the Judgment Day as a whole stays on Raw, including Rhea Ripley, who's the SmackDown Women's Champion. And the LWO as a whole, with Rey Mysterio, with Zelina Vega, Joaquin Wilde, all of them, they're all going to SmackDown. And then the Street Profits and Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, all go to SmackDown. So you have all these little groups that have all just kind of stayed together, which is fine. But I feel like, as Tom says, as Justin says, as Ryan agrees, it just kind of cheapens this draft. Now, last year, Charlotte Flair was the SmackDown Women's Champion, or maybe it was Raw. I don't remember. Becky Lynch was a champion, and they switched titles in a ceremony in the middle of the ring where Becky dropped the title on the ground and Charlotte got all pissy. But everybody
there you go.
was accidental. So my guess is that the Raw and Women's Championships are going to be switched either on Raw tomorrow night or on SmackDown on Friday. I just don't see the purpose in doing such a thing. But
Answer me this then. If is Rhea then going to be able to say that she's been the SmackDown and the Raw Women's Champion?
I'm going to defer to Tom on that question.
I don't give a crap. Like, I think the dual titles is dumb. Personally,
it's
like,
stupid.
I was actually excited when they unified the tag team titles and the Universal and the World Heavyweight title. Like, I was actually excited about that because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it just made
I don't like it though, because there's still 2 titles. That's the problem. There's still 2 titles.
I know.
I wish they come up with a damn title, and now they're creating this 3rd title. Like, they need to get rid of the black title and just have or get rid of the SmackDown title and like the black and gold title or whatever. Let that be the title, and then and that's a Universal, and then there's a world. They have enough titles. Like, we talk shit about AEW having titles, but Jesus Lord and Savior. Like,
I mean, technically speaking, like NXT, if you add NXT into the mix, they have 3 of every title.
Yeah.
God.
Yep.
Like, and it's annoying. Like, it really is. Like, for Survivor Series sake, it's awesome, but they don't do anything Survivor Series wise with the main titles. Like, all the triple threat matches are the women's titles, the undercards, or the undercard titles, and the tag team titles, which is cool.
Yeah.
But if they would do like the NXT champ versus the SmackDown champ versus the Raw champ, that would be cool as hell. But they're not going to do that because, for whatever reason.
Chef,
Well, then I
and
can
I'll
do
swing
that
back
because
to
then
me.
the winner. Oh, go ahead, Chef. Sorry.
Chef, and I'll swing back to me, and then Justin.
No, it also seems like they're getting to the point where there's so many titles that the main titles, like the big ones, you know, Becky Lynch or, you know, Rhea Ripley, like they're the only possibility. It takes away any allure that they could drop those titles at any time. Like, you know, Zelina Vega pulls something out of her ass or pulls something out of her abs, and like hits Rhea, and you know, there's no way. It just seems like they're only gonna let titles exchange on like the big cards on WrestleMania, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam, and which cheapened Backlash. Like, who thought Zelina Vega stood a chance last night against Rhea Ripley?
Nobody.
But
the crowd in Puerto Rico was white hot for every single match. And we'll talk about Backlash in a minute. But I feel like at some point you're getting a diminished rate of return on your investment, because now you have this tertiary heavyweight championship, the WWE World Champion, which, by the way, gorgeous belt, giving me big gold belt vibes. Love that big gold belt.
Like it.
But it's the same thing when they started this draft in 2001, and then in 2002, Bischoff comes out and gives Triple H the world title, the big gold belt. It made sense because you have a champion, and the brands were evenly split back then, so there was no jumping back and forth. There was no wild card rule. Now it's like, well, shit.
No, if you're a free agent, you can do whatever you want. Like, come on, man.
That sucks too. So we'll talk about that too. But when you have to have a tournament and we'll get into that, for this new world championship that they have developed, the bottom line is this: they have booked themselves into a corner with Roman Reigns because, oh, holy shit, he could be a 1,000-day champion. Well, guess what? As soon as he's a 1,000-day champion, then he's only got 61 more days to go before he beats Pedro Morales's record and moves up the ladder. He would have to hold the title until Backlash 2028 to beat Bruno's record. Bruno Sammartino, who defended that title once a month for a decade because they only had wrestling shows about once a month, if that. Back then with the territories and everything, he wasn't defending that title every night.
Well, okay, here's a question. We talk about too many belts. We talk about too many champions, too many, you know, crossing over. Are there too many pay-per-views?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Tom,
I mean,
Justin,
I don't think anybody.
Justin's thoughts on that, because Justin has always said there's too many pay-per-views.
Yeah, I don't think anybody debates that at this point, man. The premium live events, especially now that it's on Peacock and stuff like that, I feel like, and then, you know, and I'll shit on AEW for a little bit. They try to do these television specials, you know, and, you know, to try and
Battle
make
of the belts,
and it just further waters down, you know, the feeling of a premium live event or of a pay-per-view. You know, I don't like it. Now they're doing good. Like, I mean, this Backlash so far has been great. I love the fact that they're going to different places and it kind of makes it more spicy. Like, Puerto Rico is freaking crazy.
Amazing.
Watching Bad Bunny come in and seeing like whatever it was, 70,000 people sing his song. Like,
yeah,
it was a concert. Like, no wrestler gets that kind of pop. Like, that's not even Jericho. You know what I mean? He probably will at Wembley, actually, if we're being honest. But, but yeah, I mean, I just definitely the big four, Money in the Bank, and then what else? I guess we got to do the crown jewel thing, right? That's what, 6?
Yeah, but again, like, is Roman Reigns going to drop a title overseas?
Yeah, so that I want to comment on that. So I don't like the way they're doing the tournament with the world champion just because they're automatically diminishing the world championship. It's
100%.
the world championship, but they're automatically diminishing it because they're not even putting Roman Reigns, which is the best wrestler, in the mix to do it. If you want to elevate that, have him go into this tournament and not have his titles on the line. It's, you know, it's for this other, and then let him lose. Let him lose, so he loses that, but he keeps the title. And then, well, no, he would try to have the third belt, but don't put the third belt on him. Let him lose legitimately, but keep his titles. And then we're like, oh, wow, now the world championship is at the level of the universal championship. Now, it feels, it's going to feel like a fucking secondary belt.
Question for all three of you. With this world championship tournament, and let's talk about it in detail. First question. If Roman enters that tournament instead of one of these other guys, one of these other 12 guys, and he loses that match, he loses a match, does that diminish his reign as champion? Justin?
No, I don't think you can diminish his reign as champion at all. And you can absolutely do it to where, I mean, if it's in a triple threat, like he doesn't have to be technically beaten and he loses it. I mean, there's plenty of ways you can do it to where he still looks strong. You know, he gets taken out or whatever. Carlito's back, by the way. I know you guys already know that. He just came in and he's eating an apple. It's fantastic.
Same question.
No, I don't think it diminishes it, especially in the way they're doing the tournament. So if I understood it correctly, they're doing either, like, I think it's 4 triple threat matches on 2 on each brand. And then the winner of each triple threat match is then going to go head to head to determine the finalists for Night of Champions.
That is correct.
If they did it that way and Roman lost in one of those triple threat matches, I think it would and like he wasn't the one that got pinned. It
would also set up a fantastic feud for him moving forward.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just one of those deals. Like I don't think it would diminish it at all. And I honestly thought he was going to be in the tournament after, I think it was the
Savio Vega. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, it gets better.
It's better.
Like,
it's fantastic, dude. He's like 90. He's my uncle at the barbecue.
He don't do nothing. He's just sitting there directing traffic. It's awesome. But yeah, like I feel like when Paul Heyman came out on the draft night and was like talking about how beautiful the belt was, I honestly thought they were going to insert him into the tournament, which I was like, yes, okay, good idea.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
I think they need to. Because like at this point, it's like, I don't even want that thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just have somebody come out, like his next challenger come out and cost him one of those triple threats. Set up another feud for him and go through there, whether it's one
Book it, you cowards. We need to call this booking Broadway.
Chef, your thoughts?
I think it totally diminishes him as champion, you know, because if you're ahead of the pack, head of the table, you need to be dominating every single of those matches. And it's not like you don't have the bloodline who fix all your shit anyways. So, you know, yes, I think if he loses, even if someone else gets pins, dude, you're supposed to be in charge. Why aren't you either taking that win or having your people make it for you?
I have to agree with you on that myself, because I feel like with Roman being the champion, and granted, he's on SmackDown, he's doing his thing with the bloodline, and the bloodline is a whole. Solo, Heyman, the Usos, Roman, they're all on SmackDown. They're all going to continue this bloodline storyline, which I can't wait, because I feel like it's time to kind of wrap it up. But you're going to eliminate your champion, your top champion from this tournament. I still feel like even if he loses in a triple threat, it diminishes the legacy of his title run, because we're almost at 1,000 days. We're 974 days. It's just what a phenomenal way to move this thing. But moving into Raw and SmackDown, here are your
whoa, hold on one second.
Go ahead.
This just hit me. What if they played some storyline where, you know, Roman Reigns gets in a car accident?
Oh dear.
And no. He's in a coma.
They're gonna Vince McMahon
crossing the 1,000-day like mark. And it's like, we can't do anything. He's alive. He's unable to defend, but he's still the champion. And he just keeps accumulating days, like as he's in. And for those of you listening, I am making heavy air quotes.
Heavy air quotes, he says. Now, here's your lineup from Raw and SmackDown. You have Seth Rollins, who in my opinion is the most deserving. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, who if Seth Rollins doesn't win, I'd like to see Nakamura take it, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. From SmackDown, you have Austin Theory, the U.S. champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, the almighty Bobby Lashley, the Hall of Famers, Rey Mysterio and Edge, and the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. So an all-star lineup, a who's who, plus 2 Hall of Famers in this tournament. Personally, if it's not Rollins, if it's not Nakamura, I mean, I'd love for Edge or Rey Mysterio to get one more run with a title. I'm going to go to Tom. Tom, based on this group of guys, who do you see in the finals? One from Raw, one from SmackDown.
Who do I see in the finals? I think it's going to be
Rollins. Who do you see at Night of Champions?
I think it's going to be Rollins and Styles.
I like that.
Just because, like, I feel like you, especially in Saudi Arabia, where the show is going to be, you're going to want 2 of your biggest draws from either brand. The only other person I think from SmackDown that would put some like moxie on that match would be one of the Hall of Famers. Like the SmackDown side, in my opinion, star power wise is very weak compared to the Raw side. Personally, I would like to see Finn win because he's never had another title shot since he lost the Universal after that opening night tournament. Like in an ideal world, it'd be awesome to see him and Finn in the finals, but it's not going to happen because they're both on the SmackDown side. But I would love to see a rematch of them, because that was a great match too for the Universal title when they first brought it out. And like I said, I've always felt for Finn because he never got another run after he lost it. He went down to NXT for a little bit and stuff like that. But no, who I think they're going to book, or I think it'd be smart for them to book, would be Styles and Rollins.
I like that. Chef.
Trying to think of something we've never seen before. I mean, Styles Rollins would be good. Cody Rollins would be, the quadrilogy match.
Yeah. Both on Raw though, so one of those has to win to go to Night of Champions.
I'm also over Cody, so
a lot of people are over Cody.
Really? When I haven't.
No. I still look. I still like Cody. I've liked Cody for a long time. I want him to be champion. But do I think he just needs to inherit the belt? Fuck no. Earn that shit. Put in the work. Go through some trials and tribulations as things you're about to what you're about to see, Justin. I think I like to see Cody just for the sake of like his dad never got it. I want to see, why the fuck did you leave AEW? Oh, you're doing it for this? All right, dude, you better earn that shit.
Yeah.
But I think Cody might need to evolve a little bit. I think he might need to dirty himself a little bit and turn heel and then be a bit more dirty.
Justin, I'm going to come back to you, but Tom, you're shaking your head. I got to know.
I mean, watching the Brock Lesnar match, I'm over Cody. I wasn't a huge fan of him in AEW. His story was kind of cool, but once he lost the title, he's got to go away for a bit. Or you need to align him with somebody. His whole I went to Raw when it was here in Chicago, and they dubbed out or drowned out with stage noise a lot of booing. He got a ton of boos when he came out. He was not well received. I was on that thing. I get tired of the Wonder Boy story with him.
It's punk country though, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's punk country, but still, I feel
you put him in the fucking Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I guarantee you it's not going to be like that.
Well, right, that's Georgia, because everybody loved him in Georgia, but unfortunately, wrestling is bigger than the state of Georgia. So
but if you put Punk in the state of Georgia, they're going to fucking boo the shit out of him.
I mean, come on, when Cody was here, he did a superplex off the top ropes with Andre Andrade, yeah. And he superplexed himself onto a flaming table. Andrade totally missed it.
Yeah.
And set himself on fire. So I was there.
No, like I said, I like Cody's skill set. I'm a big Dusty fan. There's just something about him that just
my biggest want with Cody was when he was in AEW and he had made the deal I'm never going to challenge the world title again, which is dumb.
Into a corner.
Yeah. But I think at that point he was an EVP of AEW, and after Adam Page won or whoever was going on before Cody left, he should have been you know what? This is my company. I own it. I'm going to do what I want to do. Fuck what I said before. And then like have some people, a bunch of his own wrestlers, like, you're going to go, you're going to beat up Adam Page, and you're going to hold him down, and I'm just going to take the title away. This is my company. I want to be champion. And that would have been a great heel turn for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want something different, like the Wonder Boy, like America's favorite son type deal, like with a nickname, the American Nightmare, just doesn't do it for me. Like I want to see him turn heel.
Heard. Justin,
Yeah.
who's your thoughts on who walks away world champion at Night of Champions?
Fucking Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted that you guys don't think this, and I can't believe Tom doesn't like Cody Rhodes. I think, look, in an era where it's almost impossible to have a true fucking babyface, like a Hulk Hogan, like a, whatever. I feel like Cody is the closest and best fucking chance we have to have a legitimate, real babyface because of his father's name, because of his sneaky, his squeaky clean, everything else. He's a fantastic fucking actor. He deserves it. He fucking was shit on by the company for years just because of his fucking name. He has so much fucking sympathy his entire fucking life from being shit on from a booking standpoint. And now he's finally gone out and it's all real. Like he literally went from undesirable to undeniable and now uncrowned. It's not a fucking gimmick. He really fucking did that. And I don't know, man. I'm not bored of him. I'm pissed off that he doesn't have the fucking title yet because he fucking deserves it. And I know that he's a good dude in real fucking life too, because, we've seen what he's done with David and his son and little shit like that, through once removed through that. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm still a purist, at my heart. Like I get it, like anti-hero, this and that, but we have not had a true, real, organic, natural baby face. And I don't know how fucking long. You know what I mean? That's not a goofy like fucking Mojo Riley or some shit like that. I mean, like
I think Cena was the closest we had to that.
But he wasn't. He was shit on the entire time he was.
Oh, right. No. I'm just saying.
Now that he's gone, and we realize what we fucking had, and that we lost it. It's like the ex-girlfriend that you fumbled the ball on, right? And but that's what I'm scared is gonna fucking happen to Cody. So like that's why I'm so adamant about like when I hear about booze and this and that. No, fuck that. Like stop doing it. Stop booing him, man.
I mean,
give this guy his fucking 15 minutes of fame. That's a bad way to say it, but give him his fucking flowers. Let him win the title. Let him finish the fucking story. This Triple H bullshit about like, the story never goes on. No, that's not true. There are finishes to storylines. Absolutely, there are.
Right.
I just feel, what do you think was the biggest diss on Cody Rhodes' career while he was in WWE? Or the biggest slap in the face? Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely Stardust. And him having to do that crap, and he only got one match with his brother, and it was a horrible freaking match that they had to they didn't get any time with. And I mean, look, I totally agree with him going heel at some point. I don't think everybody needs. I wish Cena would have gone heel at some point. And I love the idea of him doing the whole what's it called, the Patriot guy from The Boys,
Homelander.
Is that his name? Homelander. I mean, he already looks like it, right? So let him win the title, let him be a face, and then let some shit come out. And it had almost like cancel culture, right? Like you find out something about him that wasn't happening and he's really not this good guy, but let him be the good guy for a little bit, let him be the champ.
I guess my whole thing is I feel like they missed a huge opportunity at WrestleMania. I understand.
Absolutely they did.
And that's that's my point. Like once that, I don't want, and that's the only issue I have with WWE is they like to do the same stories over and over. So this is going to be another John Cena Rock type thing for a whole year potentially. And I'm not about it, but
but the thing is,
here's where I'm going. All right. Cody Rhodes loses that title. Cody Rhodes loses the title at WrestleMania. Okay. He should have lost to Brock last night. He should
Spoiler
not.
alert.
It's fine. It's already passed. He should have lost to Brock last night. He should not win at Night of Champions. He needs to. Bully Ray said this on Busted Open, and I'll give Bully Ray all the credit in the world for this.
He needs to go down a hole.
Dusty Rhodes knew all about hard times. Cody has known about hard times as dashing Cody Rhodes and as Stardust. But you know what? Stardust won tag belts. Dashing Cody Rhodes won the Intercontinental title. Cody Rhodes' legacy won the tag titles. So all of these iterations of Cody, he's gotten over. As the American Nightmare, who's on my TV screen right now, he's over more than he's ever been in the world. He's given a damn weightlifting belt to a child in the front row because he's
Bret Hart feels right there, man.
Yeah.
He's that Bret Hart baby face. He's that John Cena baby face. But Bret Hart eventually became a heel and he was one of the best. But the bottom line is this: Cody needs more hard times before he wins a world championship, because it will make this story, finishing the story, more important. Roman should have won at WrestleMania. That was the right call. Cody should have gotten freaking crushed at Backlash last night at the hands of Brock Lesnar. Brock's lost 2 in a row. Okay, he don't need to lose anymore. Okay, so
no, Brock didn't lose 2 in a row.
Brock beat
Omos.
Big matches. I don't count this Omos match as a big match. I'm talking about big matches.
I love that you don't count literally the biggest match on WrestleMania.
2 biggest guys
as the biggest.
I do not.
I know what
count,
you mean.
I'm sorry, but I do not count that match as a match that he lost because he was bullshit.
It's not a marquee match.
It's not a marquee match. Marquee matches matter. He's in the main event at Backlash, and Brock lost, and then he's in the main event of SummerSlam against Roman, and he lost. So the big matches he's been losing. The little matches he can win. I don't really care, but I digress and get refocused. Cody needs hard times. Cody does not need to win this match. At Night of Champions, it needs to be either Finn Balor or Edge, and Finn Balor finally closes the book on Edge in the Judgment Day, and then he holds a title because he needs something to elevate him. It's the same thing Tom said. He needs to have the title to prove that he's still a top guy. Seth can win it, Nakamura can win it, Rey Mysterio can win it. But at the end of the day, the person that I think needs to win the most is Finn. I think he's the most deserving, and I think Cody needs to suffer a little more. And I think that if Cody gets traded over to SmackDown eventually, then he can go chase that title when it's time. Better yet, he wins Money in the Bank in July, and then he decides who he can go after, and then he goes after Roman and says, "I'm coming for you, bro." And that's the end of what I've got to say. I'm done. You guys go.
Well, on that note, what if it's like Roman goes on vacation or whatever? He's taking some time off.
He's already on vacation.
He goes on
exactly.
Yeah,
he wins Money in the Bank.
WrestleMania.
He wins Money in the Bank, and then all of a sudden we have a film segment where he breaks into Roman's house, hits him with the briefcase.
Down. I think Cody
points a gun at him. He's got a gun.
I think Cody needs to lose until Money in the Bank. It's only 2 months.
I think you're
2 months.
Totally right. I think, when people see someone struggle and they see the pain of them struggling, you empathize. And then when you have those victories, it's going to make it that much better, which is why, like I was agreeing with you, why it was appropriate for him to lose at WrestleMania.
Because he's that good on the microphone and he's that good at eliciting a visceral response from the crowd. This man right here, who just blasted Brock Lesnar's bloody face with aluminum steel steps, just give him hard times, man. Just put him through the roughness and just let him do his thing. And then when the time is right, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, whatever you want to do, put Cody over and give him his chance. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm done. Go.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Tom, do you think? I mean,
I agree
with the hard times thing.
I do. That's my point. Like, I'm like, he needs to just but I was a little even more drastic than that. And I was like, he needs to lay low. But I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do like the sounds of him winning the whatchamacallit title, or not title, the Money in the Bank. The
Money in the Bank.
I really would like. I mean, honestly,
practical.
And this is an honest question, because around this time is when I really wasn't paying too much attention and was just living vicariously through our group chats. But since Seth Rollins on the men's side at WrestleMania, have we had any meaningful big pop cash-ins like that.
No, you've had some big pop failed cash-ins with
Yes,
Theory.
that's what I'm
But,
saying. Like
yeah.
you've had a couple of failed ones. Like I remember when I think this is before, so I'm dating myself. Like Sandow was another one that I remember. Like Ziggler's and Rollins are the two that I remember the most. Like, and I
I watched the Ziggler one the other day, and it's great.
Oh, it's
the Raw after WrestleMania when Del Rio was champion. Is that
yes,
it?
Yeah, and he had hurt his ankle, and that's when Ziggler had Big E and AJ
Lee.
on his stable or whatever. It was simply phenomenal. But that's what I'm saying. Like I've totally forgot about Money in the Bank, and now that they have 2 titles, I feel like it makes it even better. I believe, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong again, but I'm pretty sure Austin Theory used his cash in on Lashley when he was the US champion.
And he lost.
He lost.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he ended up doing.
Yeah.
Like that, the Money in the Bank cash-ins should strictly be for one of those big titles.
Yeah. Which was another booking themselves to do a corner.
Yes.
But the thing is, after loss, people grow. It's like like in Dragon Ball Z with the Saiyans, when you get your ass beat down and all of a sudden you heal and you come back, you're like 10 times stronger.
Yeah, you have to break down muscle to get stronger, right?
Totally.
Has Theory actually grown?
He grew a beard.
Yeah, he grew a beard.
He grew a beard. That counts. No,
Ryan's like, it's more than I can do.
Theory's doing great.
He's grown more than I can. No, I would say that Theory is definitely less annoying than he was before. He's still a heel, but he's definitely better than he was before. I don't think I necessarily agree with Cody Rhodes getting the Money in the Bank. In my opinion, even though I love the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I love the gimmick, the Money in the Bank. I do feel like it's better suited for like a heel to have.
If
I've
Cody
always felt like that, but I go ahead.
I was saying, if Cody doesn't get it and Rollins doesn't win, I think Rollins needs to have that Money in the Bank briefcase because of the whole, like, I don't understand why they haven't done anything with Roman and Rollins yet, because Rollins talks about it all the time. He's like, he's never beat me, kind of a deal. I like the idea of Seth getting it and then Cody getting to the championship title and then Seth fucking him over one last time, since they've got the beef from the back in the day.
That is a great idea.
And you know what I mean? And that's the hard times that Cody Rhodes has. I like the idea that they're booking him so strong. I know you guys are saying hard times. I don't disagree with the hard times, but he can have hard times and still look like a badass. Like John Cena was unbeatable, big match John, and I really think they're trying to book him like that. Cody Rhodes was such an undercard and not important for so long. I really do think that they need a year or two, at least, of him just mowing down these people and giving him credibility of like, no, this guy's a world killer. He really is. He really could beat Roman if he wanted to. And I think letting him beat somebody like Brock Lesnar right now, especially since Brock Lesnar's on his way out the door and doing the jobs and stuff like that, I'm not necessarily so mad about it. I didn't watch the match, so right now we're on the tag team or the triple whatever it is with KO and all them
man tag.
But yeah,
I didn't. Brock Lesnar is going on hiatus.
He's retiring.
No, he's retiring. They've had reports of him telling everybody bye in the backstage, like he's literally on his way out. He's probably going to end up like
he's got all the money in the world, and he's got a farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. He's fine. He's happy.
I'm just going to go out in the woods and go hunting until I come back.
Damn right. If I were him, I'd be chewing tobacco and hunting and fishing too, and having time of my life.
Well, his contract
and not thinking about Bobby Lashley.
Exactly.
Tom, what was that again?
I would say, isn't his contract up at the end of this year or something like that? Like he was offered a renewal and he didn't sign one.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up like the Undertaker.
I think midsummer. I think like right after Money in the Bank, he's done. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's pretty close to the end. Boys,
that's what he needs to be.
Boys, what a backlash we had. In my opinion, I'd go as far as to say it's on par with WrestleMania, if not slightly better, because for the first time in almost 20 years, WWE has a premium live event in Puerto Rico, 2 nights in Puerto Rico. They did SmackDown the night before, and they did Backlash on Saturday. Something that I think is really important is how hot the crowd was all night long. the appreciation that the Puerto Rican crowd showed all these workers was just tremendous. Let's just say the highlight of the night was the crowd. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts on WWE being in Puerto Rico just in general. Chef,
I'm watching SmackDown from Friday, and they are, lifting up the Street Profits to the ceiling. Yeah. So fans in Puerto Rico, if any of you guys listen to us, thank you. I mean, way to show your colors, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Vince has got to go.
Huh?
Vince has got to go.
Well, Vince has got to go.
No, I mean, honestly, like that, I had a huge issue with that Bad Bunny Priest match not being the main event, especially if there's no major titles on the line.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like I lost a ton of interest in the entire pay-per-view after that match.
I agree.
Like I really didn't care about the six-man tag.
Why is that, Rob? Just out of like, I mean, just because it was that good of a match, or because
just the crowd was beyond into that match. The amount of energy and the buzz that was start to finish, all the run-ins and stuff like that, they were well done, I thought, anyways. And I just felt like that would have been a great way to end that show. Like that crowd deserved for that to be how the show ended. And I feel like it was a total Vince move. In like, because yes, I understand that that's probably how they had it scripted from the get-go, but after SmackDown, I would like to think that Hunter would have been like, okay, we need to switch and make this the main event. Like, we need to call, like, I hate the co-main event thing. Like, you cannot be a co-main event and be third from the end or whatever. Like, it's the stupidest thing ever. Like, pick a freaking main event and stick to it. Don't sit there and try to placate people. Like, the fans aren't dumb. I'm sick of Vince. He's got to go. I'm over it. Like, I just get him out. Like the sale to Endeavor was not because of the shit Vince was doing. I guarantee you the final nail in the coffin was because of what Hunter was doing to like resurrect the product.
Yes. I think Vince got so pissed off that Hunter was crushing it from SummerSlam on, and he's like, well, we got to do something to shake things up a bit. So getting back on the board, selling the company, etc. The sale will go through in July, by the way, if anybody's asking. That's the earliest the sale can go through is July. But going back,
well, Endeavor stock is up. I bought it as soon as it was announced.
Well, my WWE stock is through the roof. I think it's $110 a share, and if I get Endeavor stock, I'll get Endeavor stock out of this, and they have to pay me, I think, 5 for 1. So, and buy your Endeavor stock right now because it's cheaper than WWE by almost 400%.
It's not a competition, Rob.
It is a competition. But back to Justin's point, I think having Cody on last makes, while it's not the move I would have done, Tom, I think Justin, with his point with Cody being the biggest star in the company right now, not named Roman Reigns, you have to put him on last because this is how they're going to continue to keep the shine on him. But I do agree, Bad Bunny is incredible. The guy can do it all.
He did it all.
That match was phenomenal, and
it really was.
Now we've all seen it. I'd really like to touch on it pretty deeply. San Benito, Bad Bunny is a musician. He is a Puerto Rican rapper. That is who he is.
He is an entertainer.
He is an entertainer. That's fair. But it's like, here's this guy who does music, and then he does the Met Gala. And then 3 nights later, he shows up at SmackDown and, charms the pants off of everybody. And then he comes in and has this banger of a street fight with Damian Priest, who trained him for the WrestleMania match 2 years ago and for this match, as they've been really good friends because they're both from the same town. So
that's cool.
It's cool. And you give this guy the opportunity. I'm not crazy about celebrities winning matches against workers. I'm not crazy about it because it's like Damian Priest, Luis Martinez has been a pro wrestler for 15 years, and this guy has been a pro wrestler for 2 cups of coffee, and he beats him. Now, I know it's a street fight and it's gimmicky, and Bad Bunny had to win that match because it's Puerto Rico. But it's
they literally would have rioted. He literally would have rioted if he didn't win. Like, actually rioted.
It would have been World War Z clawing to the center of that ring.
It really would have. They didn't have a choice with that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to defer to our guest, Tom Sroka, our buddy, and I want to know your thoughts on Bad Bunny defeating Damian Priest at Backlash.
I'm with you on the whole celebrities beating workers. I didn't like that he won the match, but it is what it is. I feel like WWE's been lucky. Their last 3 celebrity wrestlers
Visions.
that they've brought in,
Man.
between Pat McAfee, Logan Paul, and Bad Bunny. Like
Fuck
those.
Pat McAfee.
Listen, hey, you say what you want about the guy. He's had some great matches. His last one, the one at WrestleMania, wasn't so great. But before that, everything else that he's done, I really have enjoyed it, and it was actually surprising.
Yeah.
It's crazy because if it wasn't, I would say that Pat McAfee is the greatest celebrity wrestler of all time if it wasn't for Bad Bunny. And I would say that Bad Bunny was the greatest celebrity wrestler of all time if it wasn't for Logan Paul. Like literally the 3 best celebrity wrestlers I think that the company has ever had that I can remember are all right now. And I don't know if that's because of the Performance Center. If it's a coincidence, I don't know, but it's fantastic.
I honestly think it's a coincidence. But yeah, I didn't like the fact that Bunny went over, but I understand why.
I just love the moments where like they did like the high risk stuff, like jumping when they slammed each other off the amps. And it's like, yeah, ref, check on the man who's worth $100 million. Damian Priest is fine.
Yeah.
I
Literally,
mean, I will say that like the
biggest artist on the planet.
The not only like the pop Bad Bunny got when he came out, but the entire stadium singing his song along with him as he's coming out. Like that was
goosebumps, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. But
and then when they got him on the thing on the top and he was giving them the blows and they started going 1, 2, 3. That's great.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a good match. Like I said, I felt like it should have been the main event. I understand the Cody Rhodes thing, but to your guys' point earlier, if you want to talk about hard times, him getting knocked down the card, I feel like would have contributed to those hard times of him not being seen as like the poster child anymore. But like I said, but again, in my opinion, that's a Vince thing.
100%.
Because Vince can't think that far ahead. Like, I'm sorry, he can't. Vince is in the now and like what's gonna get his rocks off the quickest in the moment, and that card was a complete representation of that. And with the co-main event and the Bad Bunny match being 2 down from the Lesnar and Cody match.
Tom, worst choice, having Bad Bunny not be the main event or Vince's mustache?
Oh my God.
You think he grew the mustache just because they're going to Puerto Rico and he was trying to fit in?
Give him a fedora, maybe.
Because it definitely looks like
he's trying to look like a drug lord. Yeah.
Somebody needs to slap that thing off his face.
No kidding.
But I feel young. I've got to keep doing it. The young people like it.
Tom, and I should say this to all 3 of you guys. Are you guys convinced that Vince really is that hands-on with the booking? Just from watching the product? No, I'm saying you think he's actually doing the booking.
Not entirely.
Every report saying that he's not. Every single report is saying that he's not, and he's not there. I mean, he's physically not even there anymore. And that he is Triple H has his number if he wants to ask him questions.
I'm gonna defer to Tom.
He ain't gonna ask him shit.
No, he says he wouldn't.
I'll defer to Tom, but I'm coming back.
So from the second night of WrestleMania on, there is a distinct vibe shift. You can see it, you can feel it, and if you watch Hunter on these little like press conference things that they do afterwards, his mood has changed completely. 100%. So whether Vince is hands on or not is not up for debate, but Vince has final say. And I remember listening to a Dean Ambrose interview a while back where he would talk about how like they would do something but before it was official, they had to send it off to Vince, whether he was in the building or not. I think that's what's happening. Like they write it out. They're like, this is what's going on. And then Hunter's got to send it off to Vince before he can get approval. That's what I think is happening. But like, if you like from WrestleMania on, between the draft, which I thought was a complete cluster,
big time,
like the matches for how the matches came to be, for most of the matches for Backlash, like half of the card randomly was just put together at the last minute. Like there was no real like
why did Seth Rollins fight Omos?
That's what I'm saying. Like it literally, and they came out on like the Chicago. I only know this because I was at the Chicago Raw. They came out and were like, well, MVP like negotiated it because he needed a bigger fight. Like it's just there was no. I thought the whole purpose of the Backlash pay-per-view is to carry over unfinished business from WrestleMania.
Yeah, agreed.
There was none of it.
Rollins and Omos happened because 7 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks before WrestleMania, there was a big giant match, and Omos came out and got involved, and he was down by the thing, and Seth Rollins curb stomped him on the table, and then MVP was like, "Don't think I forgot about you, Seth." You know, blah 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 blah. So I mean, you got to give Seth something to do because you got to keep him relevant. Because who doesn't love the
yeah?
Everybody loves that shit. It's amazing. But
I don't like it.
Justin doesn't like. You don't like the singing?
I have about the same feeling towards Seth Rollins as Tom has towards Cody Rhodes. I'm fucking sick of this shit. I'm sick of that laugh. Like I'm sick of like the yeah. It's just. It's annoying and not in a cool heel way annoying. It just feels pushed, and I'm fucking sick of it. I love Seth Rollins. I loved him when he was the Weasel.
I don't like the outfits.
I loved all the stuff. I'm not a fan.
But counter argument, I feel like a lot of the push is his own doing. I don't feel like it's a manufactured push.
No,
that man has been able to make magic.
Well, he's put it over. He can put everything over. And
that's what I'm saying. Like
of all his characters, this is what I'm saying. Of all of his gimmicks and the progression of Seth all the way from Tyler Black to now, this is my least favorite version of him.
Agreed.
For
I
sure.
definitely unless he decided to go like full on Joker mode, which I would love to see. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Give him the makeup and everything. That would be bananas.
Sting and Finn Balor have already done that.
I wouldn't fool with it, man. I wouldn't fool with it. I think what they've got with Seth right now is really good because everybody sings along to the theme song. Birmingham, UK, in the United Kingdom gave him a 12-minute, like he stood in the middle of the ring, just put his arms out, and he had to put his arms down because they wouldn't stop singing, and his arms were getting tired.
They did it in Paris too.
Yeah, and in Paris, yeah. I mean, they love it, and you know, putting the title on him, this new world championship makes good sense, but he's like Cody. It's like, you know, you make more money with a baby face chasing a heel. So I get the idea. I like Finn Balor for the championship because I feel like the Judgment Day really needs something to get them to that next level because Rhea has the women's championship. You could get Priest and Dominic the tag titles, but I don't think they need it because Dominic, as much as he gets this nuclear X-Pac Vicky Guerrero heat, it's like, my God, he's getting a response.
Yeah.
And he's improving in the ring, and he's doing his, like, Dominic Mysterio to me 5 years from now, maybe 3 years from now, is going to be a hot item because he's so damn over with the crowd. They hate his guts. He's got that nuclear Vicky Guerrero heat, and it works.
Yeah,
I guess every time that man talks, they boo him out of the building.
I'm just like less jaded about it right now, I think, than maybe Tom, you are, or even maybe, you know, you, Rob. Like I think the product's fucking still great. I think it's still fantastic. I do get what you're saying, Tom, about Backlash feeling like it's in a hopper. They just put a bunch of names in a hopper and just, you know, put the shit out there. That's 100%. And maybe that's Vince. Maybe that's more of just they're worried about and wondering about what's going to happen in Puerto Rico, and they just wanted to set it up for that. I don't know. But I mean, in general, you can tell that they're calling it in the ring more, which was not a thing that Vince allowed. You can tell that Michael Cole is still not leashed, which was not happening when Vince was there. You can tell that the promos are not as heavily scripted. Right?
What's a good example of an unleashed Michael Cole?
Making smart ass comments and mentioning AEW or mentioning, you know, another company or making a dive at somebody else, you know, like the, you know, him having an opinion.
Sure,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Him curious.
Arguing with Cole or him arguing with Corey.
When Nakamura returned, he named him as a former New Japan Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, man, like, Vince not letting that shit happen, dude.
Vince would never.
Never. So that's why I'm, you know, I don't think so. I don't think it is. Perhaps Hunter is maybe referring to him, or maybe Hunter's just not as, you know, maybe he you know, he came out really hot and he's not this fucking perfect, you know, booking god like we all want him to be. You know, not everybody's a, you know, batting 1,000. You know, he's done some of the best storyline work ever in all of wrestling history with the Bloodline. So, you know, and I think, you know, we live in the Marvel era right now, right? You find a formula and you fucking beat it in the ground. That's what they do. They don't want to take chances. You're not going to have movies like Event Horizon or Boondock Saints or Pulp Fiction. Like, you know,
Those
you're going to have
trying to make.
Exactly.
Man,
yeah, because nobody,
drop.
they're not going to get greenlit because they've got Thor and they've got the Avengers and they've got Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's so formulaic. And I think that's, I mean, look, WWE is Marvel. You know what I mean? Like, they're just trying to say, well, this worked. Let's do it 20 more times so we can make more money. And it's working. And that's my whole point about Seth Rollins. They're not going to stop the gimmick because 12 fucking minutes of his song. But it's the same thing, and it doesn't feel fresh to me at all. Back when Stone Cold was doing it, it was always something fresh, and it was always hot, and it was good, right? And I know I sound like the old man in the yard.
The milk truck, like,
yeah,
it was always a reason to tune in.
I did love the beer truck gimmick. I thought that was fantastic.
But anyways, I'll get off my that's
cement truck. Oh, Vince's limo's right here. Oh, his Corvette. Man, what are the odds?
They literally killed Paul Bearer.
God almighty. Well, guys, Backlash was a fantastic event. Puerto Rico, they deserved this moment. One of the hottest crowds I have seen in at least a half a decade. I'm super happy. I'm super happy for people like Zelina Vega, who had an opportunity at the women's championship. She came up short, but I mean, what an emotional moment for someone like her to be in Puerto Rico as a Boricua, as a Puerto Riqueña, and getting her opportunity at the big title on the big stage in front of her fans, her family, holding the flag out, crying.
Hey, like, Zelina Vega did a good job. She did not disappoint.
Hey, I popped at the chocolate spot.
Yes,
when she grabbed that from her mom, like, I started laughing my ass off. Like, I thought that was awesome.
The chocolate, the flip flop. Yeah, that was great. All these little things, and then Michael Cole obviously saying, you know, if you come from a Latin family, you know exactly what this means. And it's just like, you know, just being able to speak to a fresher audience. And
I honestly think though that crowd made the event.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Had that been anywhere else, it would have been a dud of a show.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And having Savio Vega return, having Carlito return, having him spit the apple on Dom, just all the favorites, all the you know, the
greatest hits,
all the greatest hits.
Where's Carlito been? He looks great.
He looks great. He's
a big man.
From what I understand, he's wrestling indies, and I don't know if he's running his father's promotion, which is WWC in Puerto Rico. I don't know if they're running that or not, but I do know that Carlos Colon, his father, would have been really proud of this event.
He looked fantastic. Like, it was like he had no ring rust whatsoever. Like, it was awesome to watch him. Like, that brought me back to like my high school, junior high days.
His hair was better than ever.
Oh yes. Man, his hair's gorgeous. And you know, on top of all of that, with this event being in Puerto Rico, we got to think that Money in the Bank is less than 8 weeks away, 4th of July weekend. And it's going to be, last year it was in Vegas and Tom went, but this year it's going to be in London. And we all know how raucous the British crowd can be. So I'm really looking forward to WWE sitting down with their board of directors and say, hey, man, like, we got to take this show out of the United States because we've had a banger of a show in Puerto Rico. They're going to have a massive show in London. And
they got to compete with AEW at Wembley.
Yeah, Clash at the Castle was very successful. These crown jewel things in Saudi Arabia have been massively successful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future lies for WWE in some of these bigger markets like India. They love that shit in India. It's
really
massive in India. They love
that's why Jinder Mahal was champion.
Yeah,
when they brought over this, it's 1.3 billion people over there.
That's right.
Well, no, I didn't even think about that. I apologize. Like I had no idea, but that, you know, that's really cool.
Yeah. So I think
go ahead.
Please,
I was just gonna say I know we're wrapping up here, but before we go, I want to touch on, because you mentioned Wembley, and I want to touch on what you guys think about, you know, the balls of AEW going over there, and do you think they're actually going to be able to get to 90,000 people? I'm surprised they're at 60 now, and
Tony says they're at 60.
2 days. They're
going to Tom.
40,000 pre-sale. Tom, what do you think and why?
Honestly, like, I have not watched an AEW thing in forever. Like, I see their highlights and stuff on social media. That's about it. Whatever you guys post in the group chat, that's it. Like, they've lost me completely. I don't care. I couldn't tell you who's got what product. Like, I like MJF. But like I like his personality. I love the fact that he like is his character on every interview and stuff that he does. But like overall, like, I don't care about the product. And
But how do you really feel, Tom?
It's just one of those things. Like, I think it's gonna be, I think, like, I always wonder with attendance how much of those numbers are inflated. I really do. So like, and then like Jericho putting out like his little like screw you post that he did the other day about like Jericho's getting on my nerves too now. Like, I think honestly at the end of the day, Jericho is going to be one of the greatest of all times, but like his whole thing with like, come see Chris Jericho and AEW in Wembley Stadium. It's like, shut up. You're going to see AEW as a whole. Like, quit making it about
he's a heel.
He's healing.
I get it. I do. But like I said, I'm all about like the show as a collective. And like right now, like top to bottom, like I don't like AEW might get 90,000 people in there, but like, do I think the show is going to be that great? No.
Yeah. You know the pennies in the jar game. You know the pennies in the jar game. I think they're going to have 75,000, and that's probably going to be it. I don't think they make 90.
So okay, that's interesting. But Tom, I just had kind of a thought here, because I feel like you and I are kind of the same, because I feel like I went through the same period with NXT and with WWE. And just tell me your honest opinion on this. And if you disagree with me, it's totally fine. But I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of times when I'm not watching something, but I'm watching something else. And the same way with you, like you're focusing on WWE, or there's a time when you're focused on NXT. And what I tend to feel is that, like, if I see something and I'm not really, really hot on it, I'll stop watching it. And I just kind of assume that it's worse and worse and worse and not any good when I'm not watching it. And so even like maybe like when you guys were talking about, man, NXT is really hot right now with the Undisputed Elite. And I'm just like, it's not really my thing. I'm not vibing in it. But realistically, I just really wasn't watching it. Had I given it a chance, I probably would have enjoyed it.
So my thing with NXT is AEW. There are parts of AEW that I really like. I like the Blackpool Combat Club. Each of the individuals.
They're as real as it gets right now.
I like FTR. I like the House of Black. Like the fact that they have the Trios championships. I love it. But I just like, I can't stand the Elite. At the end of the day, like Tony Khan needs to either run the company or be the head booker. Like this double dipping thing, like it is starting to bite him in the ass.
Well, no, he is now. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about he needs to pick one.
He needs to
and not
pick
do-
one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like
He needs to get a booker for sure.
like
he needs
it
to get
was
somebody else.
It was obvious that once Cody left, that like Tony, like my whole thing is this: like, what are the other dipshit EVPs doing? Like, I really don't understand what their roles in the company are, and I feel like they are just
nothing.
beyond. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they're beyond self-serving, and they're ruining what AEW, like what little steam AEW started to pick up, like between them and then the whole thing with Punk. Like, I think that ruined it.
See, so this is what I'm talking about, Tom. This is what I'm talking about real quick. I'm sorry, because that's actually that perspective that you have. It makes sense, but it's actually the opposite of what's actually happened. Tony Khan cut the balls off of the EVPs, and that's about the time that the product started going down.
Okay.
So when the EVPs did have their hands in, that's when we saw these amazing, like, in my opinion, you know, the MJF versus Jericho, and like Orange Cassidy versus Jericho, and like some of the best stuff with the, you know, with the Elite when they were doing everything, and the stadium stampedes and all this stuff. Like the EVPs had a lot. That was the heyday of AEW. And when Tony Khan literally cut the balls off, EVP is literally a title at this point. They're basically like locker room leaders, and that's it. Yeah. And ever since that's when it's kind of gone downhill. So I do agree with you in the sense of Tony Khan needs to get his head out of his ass and stop trying to wear 30 different hats, because he's already got too much stuff going on. He needs to hire somebody. But I will say, and push back, like you're saying, like the EVPs are doing it. Like, I don't think that's the case at all, because they really don't have any power anymore. And that's one of the reasons I think why Cody left as well.
Yeah. Chef, you've been waiting patiently.
No, it was a friend of mine who works for Turner, and was telling me, like, yeah, when Cody left, like they, like Turner themselves was like super fucking pissed because they ruined like the Go Big Show. So some backstage knowledge. It was, him leaving was a shocker to everybody.
Yeah, that was a big show, and they had the Rose at the top too.
Yep.
Yeah. I had thought that they were going to continue with the Go Big Show, that Cody's outside commitments were not going to be, detoured by his WWE deal. Maybe it was just low ratings, because I only watched that show one time and I was like, this is America's Got Talent with bombs and fire.
I watched it. I thought it was fun. I like when Snoop Dogg, and then I like T-Pain was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah. So anyway, well, guys, hell of a show. Chef, do you have anything else before we go?
Less pay-per-views. Let's make them bigger. Let's make them more significant.
Less pay-per-views. We don't want to see Cody champion just yet. We want to see him win Money in the Bank. We want to see better programming. We love that Vince is gone. We want Triple H to do his thing and Michael Cole to be the man. Boys and girls, thank you for watching Better Than Broadway, for listening to Better Than Broadway. As always, we are on Spotify. We are on Amazon and Apple Podcasts. And we are on the YouTube. And we are on the Instagram at Better Than Broadway. Tom, Strength Coach Sroka at strength_coach_Sroka on the Instagram. I don't think he
look for that in the show notes.
I don't think he has the Bird app, but if he does, it's probably the same.
No, it's Sorokas.
Strength Coach Extraordinaire, thank you so much for being our first 3-time guest. We love having you on as always. Metzi, you're the man. You look good with that hat and those muscles. We love to see it. For Metz, for Tom, for the coach, for the chef. I am Coach Rob. Happy wrestling, everybody. We'll see you next time. Happy Mother's Day. We won't be here on Sunday, but happy Mother's Day. We love y'all.
Bye, Cordy. Say bye, Cordy.
Bye, Cordy.
Wave your paw.
Play Mother
Cue
Lover.
the music.
Out of here.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.